Hi, this is Months and Months of Music, and we're talking about how you can play a song by 2 Chainz called Feds Watching. And we're going to start out with kind of the bass line action. We're going to end up capoing this on 4th fret actually to match the recording. But it starts out with a really cool bass line where you go E, 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 just on the open E string. So E, 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 kind of 5 times. And you could kind of make that a 2nd fret on the D string if you're kind of digging on that E note instead. And then right after that lick, actually then we go to kind of this cool little keyboard part where we play open B, 2nd on the G, open G, open B, and then what I like to do is kind of take a 2nd fret on the G string and do a pull off, and then kind of play open D, and then we go back to kind of that 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, oh 2, oh, oh 2, oh, oh. It's kind of that main lick, so you're playing E, 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 B, A, G, B, A, G, B, and that kind of recurs through the tune actually. And a lot of the chord that would basically back that lick up would be an E minor chord. When we play E minor, first finger is going to go to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And we actually kind of stay on the E minor until we get these really cool hits. And actually, most of the tune actually you can kind of vamp on E minor with all kinds of different plays. We'll talk about a lot of different styles actually with this. But then from the E minor, actually, there's this cool little bass line where you play 2nd on the D for the E note, open D for a D note, 3rd on the A for a C note, and then 2nd fret on the A string for a B note. So you're kind of going E, D, C, B. It kind of happens in the bass. And if you wanted to, you could kind of back that lick up with chords. And so you could start out with the E minor for that 2 on the D string. And then for the D note, we could play a D major chord. And when we play D major, first finger goes to the G string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, that sounds like D major chord. And then from the D major, we're going to be going to a C major chord. When we play C major, first finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And that's kind of that note that's backing up, is that 3rd fret on the A string bass. And then from the C on the B note, the 2nd fret on the A string, you can kind of back that up with a B7 chord. So you can take first finger and go to the D on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the G string 2nd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 2nd fret. And then you strum the A string to the high E string, that'll get your clear sound, and it's called B7. So when those hits happen through the song, you may want to try and back those up with the chords, kind of E minor, D, C, B7, just kind of those hits. Now there are lots of ways to kind of accompany yourself strum pattern-wise though through this song. One really easy way, and one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this, is down, down, up, up, down, up. And this may feel really, really slow to you actually, because I think a different strum pattern might work a little bit better. But if we just tried that on the E minor, we'd have down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, up. So we keep that going until we hit the E minor D, and you may want to just kind of do those as downs if you're kind of working that strum pattern. So you have E minor with a down, D with a down, C with a down, B7 with a down. Now another option there is to kind of throw in a bass note, and actually on the E minor you'd have the low E string for your bass on that chord. So you got kind of a low E bass, down, up, down, up, which you could kind of work off of. And then when you still get to that E minor D, C, B7, you may still kind of feel like just kind of doing hits on that, kind of adding our bass notes. Now the bass notes for other chords, just to go over them, for the D chord you'd have the D string for your bass if you're going to use that bass. On the C chord you'd have the A string for your bass. And on the B7 you'd have the A string for your bass. So if you're quick enough, you can almost make it kind of a bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up groove when you get to that part. So E minor with a low E bass, down, D with a D bass, down, C with an A bass, down, B7 with an A bass, down, E minor with a low E bass, down, up, down, E minor with a low E bass, down, up, down. Now what I think matches it really, really well, and this is kind of pulling a little bit off of that bass line actually, is a reggae feel. And a lot of times in reggae what you would do on an E minor chord is you do the low E string for your bass, and then you do a down, up, and then you kind of kill the strings, and then do another down and kill it. So we got bass, down, up, kill it, down, E minor, bass, down, up, kill it, down, E minor, bass, down, kill it, down, E minor, bass, down, kill it, down. And if you kind of dig on this, because of that D in the bass, you may think about using the D for the chord for that last hit. So you'd have kind of E minor with low E bass, down, up, kill it, down, E minor with low E bass, down, kill it, D with a down, E minor with low E bass, down, kill it, down, E minor with low E bass, down, kill it, D with a down, E minor with low E bass, down, kill it, down, E minor with low E bass, down, kill it, D down. Now, one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns, though, actually is and what a 16th note. This is a little weird. Right now, our reggae pattern and our down, down, up, we're both kind of working off a division of our foot tap or our beat of 2, and that's called an 8th note when you divide a beat into 2 parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And what a 16th note is where you divide it into 4 parts. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And what I mean by that is if you take the E minor and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing down 1, down 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the third beat, you're doing up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. Down it right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. So we tried the whole thing all together. You got long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, long down, 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 up, down, down, long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And if you wanted to, you could add basses to that. You could do a bass down, down, up, down, down, up, down. I kind of dig on. Or one of my other favorite patterns is kind of a bass, down, down, a bass, down, down, on bass, down, down, a bass, down, down, on bass, down, down, a bass, down, down. Now, if you're digging on that halving for the D thing, though, or getting the D chord into it on that strum pattern, you can do the last down, up, to match that D in the bass. So you'd have E minor with Louis bass, down, down, up, bass, D, down, down, on bass. E minor, D, C, B7. Sometimes it kind of matches that feel better to do that bass down above through that part, working on the 16th. So you may want to kind of play around with all those things. Now the weird thing is to play Feds watching though, instead of starting on an E minor chord, 2 Chainz actually starting on the G sharp minor chord. And so what you want to do to play along with the recording is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 4th fret, your E minor is now a G sharp, or a G sharp, and then your D major is really an F sharp major. Your C major is really an E major chord, and your B7 is really a D sharp 7, or an E flat 7, you know, what you want to think of. And then from there, we could just kind of go through all those parts. So you might want to kick it off with the intro, that oh, 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 oh on the E string. And you might even want to play around with kind of doing muting on that, actually. I'm kind of taking the flat of my right hand and leaning it on top of the saddle to kind of get a muted qual. And you can do that same thing on the 2nd fret on the D. And then kind of open it up for that keyboard lick if you want to, if you kind of dig it on that muting. So that might be kind of a cool thing to kind of try and play around with. It's kind of working that. And then we're basically repeating that until we get to that 2, 0, 3, 2 walk down. So we could even add that up with the chords, that E minor, D, C, B7. Or we talked a lot about different ways to kind of accompany yourself. So you could even take the E minor and just do down, down, up, down, up. And that could work to accompany yourself through the entire tune if you wanted it to. You know, just kind of play along with the recording with just that one strum pattern. And you may feel like you really need to take that really slow to get that to match up, actually, that E minor. So you'd be repeating that until you get that E minor, D, C, B7, and then you'd be going back to E minor. Now something else you may want to play around with is that bass down, up, down, up. So you got kind of that bass down, up, idea on E minor, bass down, down, bass down, down, bass down, down, and you can still do your hits when you get to those parts. Now something else we talked about was working the reggae pattern. If you're doing the reggae pattern, you have the E minor with the bass down and kill it, down, E minor with the bass down and kill it, down, E minor with the bass down and kill it, down, E minor with the bass down and kill it, down. Or you could throw in that D chord on that last E minor. So E minor bass down, up, D, E minor with the bass down, E minor with the bass down. So just kind of accent with that D. So that might be something else you want to play around with. Or we could work the 16th note strum pattern and have the E minor down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 down. And when you get to the hits using that, you have your minor keys, so you do kind of down, down on each one. And you kind of get to those. E minor down, down, C down, down, C down, down, C so down, down, C minor down, 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 up, down. Or you can do that with our basses. And you can add in those extra basses, bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down. And if you're digging on this, you could even kind of do that same kind of idea with the muting. And if you wanted to, you could even kind of throw in 4 basses. That would be cool. Bass, 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 chord. To kind of match the recording, that might be really cool. And doing that with the muting actually almost kind of gives it that same kind of rhythm quality. So anyway, that's just another idea. And you could even throw in that D on the last beat. Bass, bass, down, down, bass, down, down, bass, 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 down, down, bass, down, down. So you can kind of play around with that a little bit through that part. And then when you get to your hits on that, you could even throw in your basses if you wanted to. Here, E minor with the bass, down, D bass, C with an A bass, B7 bass, so you can kind of play around with that feel actually, kind of digging on that. And then when you get to that chorus hit, so you want to kind of think about that too. Now there's also a really cool lead guitar part actually that comes in later in the song actually, where you could play the real frets for. We play 16th fret on the high E string, and then 18th fret on the high E string, and then we go to 14 on the high E string, and then back to 16 on the high E string. So we got 16, 18, 14, 16, and later on that kind of gets embellished. You'll kind of hear some extra ones and kind of some hammer-ons on that note too actually, which could be cool. So that might be kind of cool. To take even just those 3 notes and kind of see what you can say with it. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Feds Watching by 2 Chainz. So good luck!